Hey there, this is a response to the epilogue to Confused Matthew's 2001 A Space Odyssey review, which is quite an old video. He posted like 3 years ago or something. So it probably seems a bit odd that I'm responding to it now, but I was just looking through some of his older videos the other day, and I just came across this one, and there's a couple of things he says in it that kind of bugged me. Just a couple of things I want to clarify before I get to that, though. First of all, I am a massive fan of Confused Matthew. In fact, most of the stuff he's produced over the last year and a half or so has been absolutely fantastic. I've loved pretty much everything he's been doing. And the other thing I want to clarify is I'm not really defending the film 2001 A Space Odyssey here. I'm kind of indifferent to the film itself. I do own it, but I wouldn't call myself a fan of it really. I watch bits of it from time to time, and I kind of enjoy it. I find the slow pace kind of interesting actually. I'm not really a fan of it, but I don't dislike it either. So this isn't me defending the film, this is just about the arguments Matthew makes here that kind of bug me. Okay, so with that said, let's actually get to what he said in the video that kind of bugged me.
Now, as for 2001 being more akin to a painting, some may be justified in asking, well, what's wrong with that? Let me explain. Imagine if I walk through an art gallery and look at some of the finest paintings ever created. I stand there and say, you know, I'm sick of paintings being painted the same way. I really want to change the form. So here's what I do. I grab a video camera and wait for nightfall. Then I shoot a beautiful scene of the night sky. I then take that footage to an art gallery and project it onto a canvas. People stand in awe over the beautiful footage I've shot and declare my work to be one of the greatest and most innovative paintings ever constructed. Would this praise be justified? Absolutely not. Why? Because no matter how beautiful the scenery I shot is, it does not change the fact that I didn't actually paint anything. My work is far closer to a movie than it is a painting.
That's not a reason not to praise your video of the night sky, Matthew. Whether or not it's good or not has nothing to do with whether or not it's a painting. It's got to do with how it works as a piece of art. See, that's the sort of crucial detail you seem to be missing here. Your video of the night sky may not be a painting, but it is most definitely a piece of art, and that's how it would be judged by art critics. You know, people don't judge Michelangelo's David or The Angel of the North or the Venus de Milo as a painting, because they're not paintings. You know, you can't judge something on something that it isn't doing or something that it isn't attempting to do. Your video of the night sky may not be a painting, but it is most definitely art, and no one is going to criticise a piece of art for not being a painting. And in the same kind of way, it doesn't really seem very fair to judge 2001 A Space Odyssey or criticise it on how it works as a story. It's not attempting to give us a story, therefore it doesn't really seem very fair to judge it as a story. You're judging 2001 A Space Odyssey on something it doesn't attempt to do. It isn't attempting to tell us a story, yet you judge it on the basis of it telling us a story. It's like if I go around saying, well, that bench is terrible because it doesn't work as a table. Well, that jar of marmalade is terrible because it doesn't work as a knife.
It doesn't count as a painting if you don't paint.
But it does count as art, even if you don't paint.
And likewise, it doesn't count as a film if you don't write.
Actually, it doesn't count as a story if you don't write. And like I've already said, 2001 A Space Odyssey isn't attempting to tell us a story. And once again, I just want to clarify, I'm not saying 2001 A Space Odyssey is good just because it isn't attempting to tell us a story. This is purely about the argument Matthew's making here. It's not about defending the film.
Are we actually saying here that just making people's minds wander about an image is good? That's the exact opposite of good thinking. That's like telling a boxer to just go out there and throw as many punches as he can. Sure, he's throwing a lot of punches, but how many of them are actually being effective?
Okay, this analogy really just baffles me. He's saying that the exact opposite of good thinking is like telling a boxer to throw as many punches as he can. So if I'm to follow that logic through, good thinking would be the exact opposite of telling a boxer to go out there and throw as many punches as he can, which would be telling a boxer to go out there and not throw any punches at all. So good thinking is the same as telling a boxer to not throw any punches. I hope Matthew never becomes a boxing coach.